So if you've been keeping your finger on the pulse of the handcrafted candle industry over the past several years, you've probably heard of a Salem-based candle company called City Wicks. Liz Frazier, owner and candle maker. She's not just making Halloween spooky candles, nothing disturbing or graphic, nothing like that, and certainly not novelty. Instead, I would classify her products as being elegantly gothic. They're deeply complex, thought-provoking, strange, and peculiar in the most romantic of ways. And I had an opportunity to drop into her shop right before the holiday season to see what she had in store for Christmas. She does make some spooky Christmas fragrances. However, she also makes some heartwarming, nostalgic, and very festive Christmas candles as well. So how about we take a close look at these? Let's jump into Christmas, Salem style. Alright, so first candle on the list is going to be titled Blue Spruce. Spruce has really been trending over the past couple of years, and I'm liking it. With all of the pine-themed candles out there, it's nice to see another of the coniferous family making an appearance. Blue spruce, I always say, is the hedgehog of the coniferous family. Very spiny, very spiky, kind of dangerous needles if you ask me. And blue spruce does have a very distinct aromatic profile as compared to something like a fir or pine tree. And her Christmas fragrances come in these really fun-sized jars. Very heavy-duty and airtight for sure. So first impressions, this brings me outside. I'm not sitting on a leather sofa indoors by the fire when I'm smelling this candle. No, I'm out in the forest among the blue spruce Christmas trees, snow coming down. Why am I saying that? Because there is a mintiness here. There's an icy blast as soon as you take a smell of this candle. It almost clears the sinuses. There's this fresh mint contrasted by very bright citrus, very lemon forward. And speaking of lemon, rosemary. Rosemary, another herb, but also has that lemon-driven aroma. And in my mind, when I'm smelling this, I'm thinking about the sap, the ooey, viscous goos dripping from the tree when you cut that tree down for Christmas. That heightened sweetness provided by that sap. And I feel like I'm saying this a lot, but if you are into artisanal gins, as in the spirit, this has an amazing aromatic profile for a cocktail. We have the citrus, we have the herbaceous notes. Juniper berry, pine notes are very popular in gins. They're distilled with juniper berries all of the time, as they are distilled with citrus as well. And that's kind of what's happening here. We have this gin cocktail garnished with citrus and a little bit of fresh mint. Maybe we're having a cold cocktail out in a wintry forest right around the Christmas season. Blue Spruce by City Wicks. What do we have next? Merry Mistletoe. Merry Mistletoe. So a lot of expectations when going into a candle with the name of mistletoe. Let's see how City Wicks portrays mistletoe. Wow. Okay, so highly concentrated cedar. So if the first candle, Blue Spruce, was all about the sweet spruce and sap, this one is going to be about the robust cedar. You can't help but think of twigs, bare twigs, even Christmas wreaths. This is like when you're walking around the forest and you find twigs and they're all sitting there roasting in the sun, dehydrated. This could almost double as an autumn wreath or Christmas wreath sort of candle because there is some fruit notes coming through, some berry notes, holly berry. There's a holly berry thing happening here. Now, even though winter berries, holly berries don't smell like we think they would, you know, in my mind, I think winter berries would smell like cranberries and raspberries. They don't. But that is really what I'm smelling, more of that tart red fruit. And I've lived in apple country long enough to know that this smells like the skin and the core of a golden, delicious apple. You know the little sprig that's on top of that apple? If you ever roll that up and smell it, it has this highly aromatic twig, apple twig smell to it. And that is what's going on here, and which makes it very appropriate for a mistletoe candle, or even that holiday Christmas wreath candle. Now, I've said citrus, but there's something else here too. Lime flavored club soda, seltzer water, whatever you want to call it. There's no carbonation in this candle, but it has this club soda sparkling water effect. Lime, club soda, and the last candle we talked about, a gin cocktail. What if we burn these two side by side, blue spruce and merry mistletoe, to enhance that gin cocktail experience? I don't know. I think it's a good experiment, one that I would like to partake in. Along with the bark and the twigs, there's a resinous side to this candle. The balsam is really coming through. I've also experimented with lightly roasting pine cones. I don't want to burn it too much. Now keep in mind this is very, very flammable. So it's also very important that you have water on hand, which is precisely what I forgot to do. You get this wonderful aromatic experience. Only thing is, it's very dangerous. I should have seen this coming. So supervision is required. Maybe a little bit of this lingering clove in the background. This is a complex candle. This is what I'm talking about. Deeply complex. Certainly not a single note, single layered candle. Merry Mistletoe by City Wicks. Let us continue. Next candle on the list, Peppermint Bark. Now, if you know me, you know how much I love the contrasting aromas of chocolate and mint. It was one of the most amazing discoveries I found when I was a child. So let's get a sniff of this candle and see what's happening here. Oh, man. So yes, not a sweetened, overly candified form of peppermint. This is peppermint. This is a candy cane. This smells like, well, this smells like candy. This smells like, again, that icy blast, that cooling sensation in the lungs, opens up the nasal passages. This is more like peppermint extract. It makes almost your eyes tingle. And to contrast that, we're gonna need a powerful chocolate component. And this isn't a gentle milk chocolate. This is not Hershey's chocolate. This is gonna be more of the dark chocolate, the baker's chocolate, the cocoa nibs. I'll go even a step further. Crushed espresso beans. Oh yeah, oh yeah. What is this gonna remind you of? This is gonna remind you of Thin Mints. This is gonna remind you of York's peppermint patties. You know, the stuff inside the York's peppermint patty is very strong, right? And it's dark chocolate, not milk chocolate. How about Andes candies? You know, the things that you get in the little folder when you're paying your bill at the restaurant. Andes mints, for sure. This is a peppermint bark that I would like to eat. This is a peppermint bark in a liquid form I would love to drink. Certainly, this is not a highly sugar-fied peppermint bark. This is going to be the real deal. Peppermint extract and darker chocolate espresso notes. Very well done. I love this one. So far, this might be pulling at the heartstrings the most. Peppermint Bark by City Wicks. There's more. There's more. Christmas Hearth. Now don't get this mixed up with City Wicks Hearth candle. This is going to be something completely different. Let's give it a sniff. Oh. You know, you hear the word hearth, I'm thinking of like smoke and ash, fireplace. This is so much more complex than that. Not only does this have that roasted cedar aroma, that those ashes in the sweet ashes in the fireplace, but we also have the Christmas tree in the corner of the New England home giving us that pine needle. I'm smelling plum or sugar plum. The night before Christmas, we have those stockings hung by the chimney with care. Why do I say that? Because we have oranges, or more specifically, I'm going to classify it as mandarin zest, and even a little bit of the juice. I always used to get oranges in my stockings. There's another minty component here. I really don't know how else to classify it other than just to say it could be fresh mint. Most likely we could say candy canes maybe hanging on that Christmas tree. And this is what I love. The sweet, smoky ash. Sweet smoky ash. Swirling and swaying, sweet smoke, almost like tobacco smoke. Little bit of vanilla in there. With the tea, with the lemony pine, with the mandarin, there's definitely a tea-like component effect, an illusion that's happening here. This feels like I'm sitting on a sofa right by the fire sipping on this tea. Maybe there's a little bit of spice in that tea, like lingering clove. Yes, this smells like we're sitting by the fire. The fire is roaring, that cedar is roasting in the fireplace. But then we take a nap, we fall asleep, we wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, we realize we fell asleep on the couch. And inside that fireplace, all we have left is a reduced log of ashy materials and smoking embers. And that is what I'm talking about when I say authenticity when it comes to candles from City Wicks. This is Christmas in the living room. This is that New England home in the living room. This is that hot cup of tea by the fireplace. Christmas Hearth by City Wicks. Once again, excellently executed. And the last of this collection is going to be eggnog. Now, when I visited Liz, she was all out of the little tumblers. She had the travel tin, which is more than enough because, as we know, her candles are very, very intense, the aromas when smelling them cold. Oh, you know what I mean? It brings you places. I mean, first thing I have to say, first and foremost, this smells like eggnog, right? This doesn't smell like an artificial knockoff candle that kind of smells like milk or dairy product. This smells like there's eggnog inside of this candle. But there's more. There's always more. So yes, heavy cream, warm milk, authentic eggnog, that custard-like aroma. But this is going to be spiced up. We're going to have some serious cinnamon sugar, some freshly grated nutmeg, and this is savory. Savory in a buttery way. And that butter and that cinnamon, I can't help but say buttered cinnamon toast. So we're getting a sweet and savory eggnog already. There's a little bit of clove in there too, I think. It comes and it goes, but I just picked it up. So clove alongside with that cinnamon stick. And big dairy, big dairy. I said it in the beginning, I'll say it again, big dairy. I mean, really, this is just a pinch of allspice and a pinch of ginger from being that pumpkin pie latte that we get during the autumn season. And one thing that we're not gonna miss when we smell this candle, vanilla, like vanilla frosting, even warm vanilla cake, vanilla extract. And what would eggnog be without the spirits, the booze? I'm not getting booziness, but I tell you what I am getting, almost like this bourbon barrel aged maple syrup. Oh yeah, oh yeah. And because eggnog is egg whites and sugar and cream whipped together, smells a little bit like angel food cake as well. This is delicious. This is a tough one because we have eggnog and Witch City Wicks Pumpkinhead. Very close duel there. They're both super delicious. They're both super bombastic in the best way possible. That would be a great compare and contrast evaluation for the future. Lovely Decadent Eggnog by Witch City Wicks. Wow. So that is going to do it for the festive Christmas collection. But like I said, Liz also has a few spooky, a little bit more gothic-driven Christmas fragrances. And guess what? I have them. Let's break them out and let's take a look. Okay, so here they are, right here. We're gonna start with Christmas Mourning. But I want to draw your attention to the spelling of this candle. Not the morning you would expect from Christmas.